Morning after, we're back. It is Wednesday, January 7th. I got Riley on here. Riley, what YMCA are we at today?
Still at the Northwest Carry. This is my new setup. Great childcare, 10 out of 10 recommend. And nice little area here for me to do the people need a visual of my setup right now? We got
Yeah, why
we
not?
got
Let's get a little tour. Let's get a little
we got
tour.
we got all these tables here. Actually, you're not gonna be able to see that.
No, I
Bad
saw it.
idea.
I saw it. It looked like you're in like a little cafe area.
Yeah, it is a little cafe area. Oh,
Yeah,
oh gosh.
don't
My
don't
my
doubt what
son's
we can see. We
my
got you.
son, my son's looking at me right now walking to the basketball court. So, but
Is he
good
about
good
to have
news.
like
No meltdown. He's
no
mentally
mouth?
tough. We've been putting in reps, yeah, to prepare for this moment. So yeah, he's back in
Are you
childcare.
concerned that he's ready to move out?
Yeah, he acts like that a lot these days. He doesn't really want help with anything. Fights me on pretty much everything. It's a battle to get him in his booster seat. It's a battle to get him in his high chair, not high chair, car seat. But we got him a soccer goal from our neighbors yesterday. Never would have thought I'd be raising a future Lionel Messi, but this kid is special, kicking the ball. We were getting reps in yesterday, so yeah,
I'm a
really
big
fun age.
I'm a big football guy. Me and Carter are actually in a whole group chat that's dedicated just to discussing football. Um, Charlotte FC is making some big moves. Like I'm not saying like you got a little something in your backyard because MLS stinks, but for an MLS team, like they're doing a few things. So
Really?
yeah, they're doing some stuff. I don't remember the player's name now because like now there's a lot of pressure on me to like know this stuff. And I'm succumbing to the pressure, full transparency. But like they made a big move the other day. They're actively involved in some stuff.
So here's I'm not a soccer guy at all. I've like given it a chance in the past, just isn't for me. Can't get into it. I don't know what it is. Uh, but when Charlotte brought in Charlotte FC, I feel like I had a lot of friends who became fake fans who were like, "Ooh, let me pretend to be into the MLS now. We got a team. Ooh, so fun going to the game." And I guess it's fine if they want to spend their money doing that and going to Bank of America Stadium. That's where the Panthers play to see the games. But that is not how I would spend my money. But
But
you
by
know,
the way, we all knew that's where the Panthers play. I just want to get ahead of that. Like that's a very well known stadium.
is it really?
I
Dude,
think so.
the Panthers have been irrelevant for like a decade. I'm trying to think. If you ask me like the Cardinal Stadium, if we're going to your division, I've been to it, but I can't remember what it's called.
University.
University of Phoenix.
I think so. I don't know if it's still called that. So I don't do the name change stuff. To me, whatever your name was when I first recognized your stadium, that it still is. Like the Superdome is the Superdome. That's not the
Mhm.
Mercedes Benz Dome or
Oh
whatever it's called.
yeah, gosh. Wait, what's the name of are the 49ers Levi's? Is that them? Okay.
Yeah, but I still call it the stick. Shout out Candlestick. Andy says he was never able to get into soccer too. I've tried, but it's just boring. Um, D dot or dot. We'll get into college basketball really quickly. I'm just gonna give you guys a tip on how I got into soccer. I mean the Caden Boozer guy is forever funny. What's up, Akil? Morning fellas locked in. Everybody stinks besides Iowa State, Arizona, and Michigan. Have a good one. Yeah, I don't disagree. We'll get into that though. The way I got into it was the earlier the mornings I started to have on the weekends. Like once I got into like corporate, I don't want to call myself corporate, but corporate life.
Mhm.
And I started waking up at like 4 or 5 in the morning on Saturdays just because I'm used to my like Monday through Friday schedule. And then like I had nothing else to do. And then you flip on the Premier League. I found the team. I love it. What we love about college basketball in terms of like fandom and the passion behind the fans and the lack thereof it from pro sports across the board, that is not the case with like European sports, whether it's basketball or whatever, but definitely
Mhm.
soccer. And I think there's a lot of similarities. Like a lot of the reason you guys love college sports, I think, are pretty translatable to soccer if you're able to get into it. But do not get into it through the MLS. But let's switch over to some of these games last night. Let's talk TCU Kansas real quick. I'm officially out on Darryn Peterson as an NBA player.
That was one thing I wanted to lead with, Dion. There's so much debate about do you like Peterson, Boozer, AJ for the number 1 pick. To me, it's like AJ with a bullet right now. I don't see why you wouldn't. Greg described this as king size T-Mac versus hamstringless Malik Monk. That was his comparison. I kind of love it. Give me king size T-Mac. But I was even, as I was watching like that Houston Texas Tech game too, you could even make the same argument for what Darius Acup has been doing. I know Acup like struggles defensively. That's been the big knock on him. He doesn't really come up with steals, and I think he's listed at like 6'2" or something. And as a smaller guy, maybe you're hesitant to take him. At least Acup is like built. Like that dude looks like he's been lifting weights seriously for like a good 5-10 years now. But I had this thought. It's like, would you rather agonize over drafting Peterson in the top 3, or just rather be in like the 5 to 7 range and get one of Flemings or Acuff? Like, what are the chances that at least one of those guys has a better NBA career than Peterson? Because Flemings has the size, he can guard, and just like the big time shot making has been the antithesis of what Peterson's been, because Peterson checks himself out like with 2 minutes left. And I get when Peterson's out there, he's sick, but like the dude is checking himself out with 2 minutes to go in a close ball game versus the dude who's pulling up from the logo to put drive the dagger through Texas Tech and Grant McCaslin. Flemings would not be a bad consolation prize if you're outside the top 3.
Good morning, Coy. I think I would rather just have Peterson, just because like he did have 32 last night. And that's really hard to ignore, if that makes sense. However, I'm out on him as an NBA player because like the collegiate schedule is a joke compared to what he has to do at the NBA level, right? Like I made this joke in our like sleepers group chat yesterday, right? Where it's like Bron was saying, I'm 41, I can't play back-to-backs now. Darryn Peterson saying that kid's 19. They ask him to play 6 or 7 games in a whole month. Like that's all we're asking you to do. We're asking you to show up twice a week, maybe twice a week against TCU and Brock Harding. But I'm supposed to believe in 10 months, you're going to stare Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Austin Reeves, my dog AR is in that combo now. Nikola Jokic, all Wemby, SGA. You're supposed to stare these dudes in the face 82 times, and you're not going to cramp up all of a sudden. Like if you can't handle playing collegiate basketball in a schedule that's less than half what's going to be asked of you in 10 months physically, because literally he physically can't handle a collegiate schedule, which is crazy to me. Like, I can't believe that's a thing. But like, what's the most, if Kansas won a national title, the most games they play is 38, right?
Yeah, 38 to 40.
38 to 40, yeah. And that's if they win a national title. By the way, not going to win one. So, like, we don't, like, realistically, he's probably going to be really asked to play 32, 33 games, and he's already sat out 7 of those. So, we're really asking him to play a high school level schedule. Can't even pull that off, man. Like, you can't even pull off playing a high school schedule, but I'm supposed to believe, like, you're good to go. Like, you got SGA on Tuesday, Wednesday on the back end of a back-to-back, you're going to stare Steph in the face like I got him a couple days later for your 3rd game in 7 days. Hey, don't worry, Kawhi. Darren's here. No shot. No shot. No shot.
The maddening part about it, too, is I think it'd be a little easier to stomach if he was just seen as an offensive guy. You know, like, oh, you can live with that. Like, he's there to get buckets. But part of why he's been beloved by scouts and NBA folks throughout his high school career because he's supposed to be such a good defender. And you see the flashes of that, like the pre-college tape. He was a menace on ball, had really good instincts, great hands, all of that. But like, you're supposed to be this two-way menace, and that's the part where I can't get over the whole like, oh, I'm just going to sit out overtime. And it
wasn't even overtime. He checked himself out with 2.5 minutes to go. Maybe even longer than that. Like, there was a moment, everybody's seen the clip at this point. At least I hope everybody's seen the clip at this point. You're not on social media if you haven't seen this clip. They literally passed him the ball. He wasn't paying attention, ducked, and then waved to Bill Self like, yo, come get me. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
But then he checked himself back in with what? When it was like 10 seconds left and he got fouled on the 3. And then they ran that final play with under 2 seconds to go for him too. thought it was a decent look. I think that's the frustrating part. If I was a Kansas fan, I'd be losing my mind that you can check in with 10 seconds left to try to hit the game winners, and then you just sit overtime. Like he doesn't look hobbled. Did you think he looked particular? Like he might be tired, he might not be feeling well, but when the ball hits his hands, he's got a lot of energy. He looks plenty healthy when the ball is in his hands.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's hurt, not injured. If that makes sense. Like I don't know. You played football, right? You're a professional football player. I'm gonna compare your professional football career to my high school basketball career. There was a lot of moments my freshman year on varsity. I didn't want to be on varsity. It was really cool. You know, like if you're the freshman on varsity, girls love it. You know what I mean? Like all the exterior basketball stuff really does go your way. When you're on the court with 18-year-olds, not a lot goes your way. And I'm sitting here like, yo, I could be on JV and really be the dude, or I can come to practice every day and get absolutely like destroyed by these Division I college basketball players that just happen to be in high school for another year. So I did the thing where I would quit in practice a lot. Like, oh my God, they ran into me. Like my ankle hurts. It did hurt, but I was hurt, not injured. I think Darryn Peterson is hurt, not injured. And so, like, I also did that where it's like, okay, I hit a big shot. The kid got energy all of a sudden. You know what I mean? That's being hurt, not injured. I'm sure in football, like, you would take some hits where it's like, yo, that kind of hurt. But,
right.
like, I'm not injured. Like, I'll be okay.
Yeah, for sure. I would compare that to – so my junior year of high school, I played linebacker, and we had 3 guys on the team who all went D1, one to Ohio State, ended up transferring to Pitt, one at UNC, one at Duke. The kid who played at Duke was like, he made 2 all-ACC teams. It's probably the best kid I ever played football with. But, like, going against them, I had some very, very, very minor shoulder issues in high school. But there's the occasional practice where it's like, dude, I really don't want to go against these guys today. Like, these dudes are all way bigger than me. That shoulder's flaring up, coach. I got to go do some rehab, you know? Like,
or like when you're not like one of those guys, you're always the last one to get like your ankles taped. So like you tell the trainer, like, yo, tape it just a little bit more just in case coach like sees it and is like, I could use that as my excuse today. but like that's what Darren's doing. Like he's hurt, not injured. I said this yesterday. I am curious your take on it, and then we'll transition into Michigan and Duke as well. I know you want to talk your Blue Devils. I don't want to like stop you from doing that. I said this yesterday. I don't think it's all Darryn. I'll be honest with you. I continue to say this. We cannot pretend these college teams are paying the NBA guys that much money, right? Darryn Peterson is legitimately going to make $15, $16, $17 million on his first NBA deal. I think JK and I were talking about it. I think the rookie scale contract is like 4 for 70, something like that. Adidas is telling him, hey man, you better not ruin this. Like we're paying you, we fronted you so much money to be a collegiate athlete. Do not blow this over a little $2 million contract Kansas gave you. Remember, we're the ones that are actually paying you the real NIL money. That little $2 million they're giving you is nothing compared to what we're giving you. We're giving you 15 to 20. So like, I don't think it's all Darryn. I think there's a lot of people in his camp, including one of the biggest brands in the world, that are like, brother, you are not blowing this money to play TCU and Brock Hardy.
It's a fair point. Yeah, that when you put it that way, it is crazy. Like this goes back to your argument that you made this summer that the college guys are actually underpaid when you're getting Darryn Peterson for $2 to $2.5 million if you're Kansas, and he's going to be making what 8 times that next year. So yeah, when you put it in that perspective, I guess I just want to see him play because he's a ton of fun to watch. I'm not even a Kansas fan, but you can't like, dude, he's just so explosive when he's another one of those dudes who when he gets into the lane, it's like good luck staying in front of him. The pull-up shot making is incredible. I think he only logged 1 assist last night, but his passing is generally good too. So just all of that combined is like, bro, I want to see you in this sport that we cover, but I mean, if your stock isn't going to fall by sitting games, I guess I understand it. It doesn't mean I like it, but I can at least understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, his stock's good, right? Like he's a top 3 pick, like
probably top 2. It's like going to be him or
AJ. And I think like the second pick's like first deal is 4 for 57. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, so he'll be good.
he'll be fine. Like my whole point with like they don't make enough money is it's uncomparable.
Right.
Like you're the highest paid college basketball player ever is going to make a third of what Darryn Peterson's going to make next year. And now, granted, a large portion of that, and someone DM'd me this, and I didn't think about it through this lens. They do play a third of the games. So, like, if you make $6 million on a college schedule, you really are equal to making 18 at the NBA level. And that's a great point. And that's something I never considered. But at the same time, if you're Darryn Peterson, Bill Self ain't getting me to do shit, respectfully. Like, respectfully, you're not going to tell me, like, hey, brother, we got West Virginia on Saturday, figure it out. And why don't you figure it out, Bill? I'm about to make double what you make in a year. So why don't you go ahead and figure it out? You know what I mean?
Why don't you figure out? Good luck stopping Trace at Eagle Staff. If you can't do that, then you're overpaid, Bill.
You're telling me you need me to figure it out so Milos Uzan can go 2 of 11 on me? I'm good, brother. He didn't make it to the league I'm trying to play in. You know what I mean? Like, respectfully, like but the fan in me wants him to play as much as possible. Like,
for sure.
That's why he's in college. That's why we love the sport. But I just think with NIL and the money being so public, something has to give for these high level, like top guys, because what is their incentive to play? Right. Like it doesn't make a ton of sense. So I don't know. But we'll transition to Michigan, who was in a dogfight with Penn State yesterday. That wasn't the best look for them. Yaxel probably needs to sit a little bit, though. I think Yaxel's a little bit more hampered than like they let on. That was my takeaway.
Yeah.
Did you watch the game at all?
I had it on with the other two games. It was Florida and Georgia and Duke and Louisville. So yeah, I had it on. I wasn't like super locked in, but I got to see enough. Just a little bit surprised at how much Penn State was able to go to work in the paint. They won the rebounding battle. I thought Ivan Juric with 20 points, like a couple possessions where he made it look pretty easy to score through Merez Johnson, who I think has been really good defensively this year. You see Josh Reed giving them 13 and 10 off the bench. Got Merez in foul trouble too, fouled out of this one. So yeah, I know the chat has been sorry, I'm looking at the chat and Caden Boozer just said, yo, Riley, would 3 of me beat 1 Caleb Wilson with the chin scratching emojis? But I know the chat has been going back and forth about, is this Michigan team still title favorites after in a dogfight with Penn State? Yes, I am not overreacting to this one, but Penn State does this every once in a while. Like, this is what happens in the road and conference play. Speaking of, like, we just saw Duke in a dogfight with Florida State, and I think obviously they're a different tier than Michigan, but like that was on the road in Tallahassee, a Florida State team that lost by 30 to Dayton, could have had Duke, was down 3 with under a minute to go in that one. So like sometimes with this, unless you start to see trends that emerge, like if we see 2 or 3 more games and Michigan is hemorrhaging points in the paint, then yeah, we can be a little concerned. But this is like what makes the sport special is teams, even elite teams, can go on the road in conference play and get like a team's best effort and survive a scare. So that I think is what happened last night against against Penn State. Like I wouldn't be worried about anything if I was a Michigan fan.
No, I said yesterday, I think Michigan runs the table in the Big Ten. I still think that. I don't know where you fall on that one. I mean, you look at their schedule, they're only going to play Purdue once. And to be honest with you, I just think Michigan's way too athletic for that game. Michigan State, by the way, respectfully to Michigan State fans, y'all don't stand a chance. Respectfully.
That has to be like a Tom Izzo legacy, forgot about Izzo game against Dusty, where it's like, again, this is what we said in our Georgia Florida preview, that there's levels to this SEC stuff. Like that would be the same thing with Izzo, just if he can lock or Dusty and was like, hey, you got next, but I'm not retired yet. But I think they'll drop at least one. It's so hard to win a power conference, to go 20-0 in a power conference.
It's tough, but the reason I think they can do it is this Michigan team is the anti-Big Ten. Like they are, if they played a style of play the way the rest of the Big Ten does, I'd be like, yeah, they lose a couple games. But I think stylistically, they're so different than like what Big Ten teams are. Like Pickle Rick said, remember D is the same guy who said Purdue was never scoring under 80 this year too. Yeah. And if they didn't get pure belt to ass, like if they didn't get absolutely beat down by Iowa State, then yeah, that would be true. But they got belt to ass. like I didn't. My bad for not seeing a world where Purdue would get smoked by 30 at the crib. Like my bad. I didn't know they were just gonna like get absolutely dog walked by a team. I didn't see that. But I think this team is like, they're so different than the rest of the Big Ten. Like G and Cart has spoken about, like, for the Big Ten to win a national title, the style of play has to change, right? Like that's the issue that come March. They don't have the athletes. Michigan does. And I think the athletes are going to get them to there. Like, that's why I think they'll go undefeated. Are they going to lose one? Potentially, right? Like, of course, like this is why you play the games. But if you go down their schedule, show me the game where they won't be the favorites in for the rest of the year. There's two moments on the schedule where I don't think they'll be favorites potentially. One of them is Duke, but I do think they'll be fairly heavily favored against Duke.
Yeah,
if I'm being completely honest.
Going back to that style, the style of play. I mean, it's a little bit. It's a different scheme than like what Florida did last year. I should say like a different construction than what Florida did last year, because Florida had the skilled bigs to go with an absolute shot-making demon and Walter Clayton. I don't really think any of Michigan's guards are on Clayton's level, but you have three extremely skilled like forward/bigs, whatever you want to classify Yaxel as, between him, Merez, and Mara, where you can run your offense through those guys. And if you have three of them, like, who's matching up with that? It's obviously the different players than Danny Wolf, but it's like kind of the same mindset of like, oh, I got a 7-foot point guard, except this year it's like we got three dudes who are 6'9" and taller, who you can like, who I can play through, like do something about it. You take away one, all right, cool. I'm going to go to Damara. We're going to run the offense through him out of the pinch post. Oh, you got him? Okay, cool. You take Mara out, you put a body on him. It's a good thing I got Merez, who can essentially run the point in spurts too. Like that I think is what gives them the biggest advantage, coupled with the defense. Like last night was truly, I think, just an uncharacteristic performance defensively, where, again, my guy Ivan Juric didn't even know who he was before last night, was staring at Daimar in the face and saying, like, ball up top. Good luck.
Find you a wife or husband who loves you as much as Riley loves random European players on college teams. CWAC said KenPom favors Purdue over UM. Currently, that was the other game. I think Purdue's like the game where they're like probably underdogs on the road. Here's my issue. Is Michigan just not like if Iowa State is a Big Mac, is Michigan not the Big Mac meal version of Iowa State? Like, are they not the version of Iowa State that also comes with fries and a drink? Like, you love what you're getting regardless. But like, if you can get fries and a drink, you want to get fries and a drink. Michigan has the fries and a drink. And if Iowa State gave us the blueprint on how to beat Purdue, we're still waiting for the blueprint on how to beat Michigan. Maybe we get the blueprint between now and that Purdue game, and we sit here and we're like, is Purdue not the Big Mac meal version of Michigan State, right? Like, the same could be said. We'll find out. But at the moment, here's the blueprint on how to beat Purdue. Does Michigan not just do that, but better?
I'm still thinking about this. Like, you could break down the Iowa State roster compared to Michigan's, and like, Yaxel Lindeborg is truly the Big Mac meal version of Joshua Jefferson, Daimara, the Big Mac meal version of Blake Buchanan. I like this comp a lot. So yeah, if they can replicate what Iowa State, the only thing that I would say that I like Iowa State has an advantage over Michigan. You want to talk about random European guys? I love
Momcilovic.
Oh, they got two random European guys I love, because they got Killian Touré too, who locked down Braden. Killian Touré is nasty.
He was a little too close to Killian Hayes for me.
I get it, but that dude might be the best guard defender in the country, and I don't think Michigan has anyone who can like take Braden out of rhythm like Touré did. But everything else up and down the board, they can do a lot of what Iowa State does defensively in terms of just throwing length at you around the basket and daring you to score. That should be a tough matchup for the Boilers.
Yeah, I mean, DK said Torvik has Michigan win everything. So does KenPom, besides the Purdue game. I think Purdue's the only game KenPom has them losing. Yeah, they have them beating Duke by 6 on a neutral. By the way, Duke ain't losing by no 6 to Michigan. They're losing by a lot more.
I agree.
Like Duke has issues, man. Like Duke has real issues. Let's get into Duke. Duke Louisville, no Michael. They built Pat Kelsey built. I don't know why it took me so long to say Pat Kelsey's name. I dead ass almost said Kenny Payne's name 3 times there. Caden Boozer said, "Hey Axel, we're good, bro. Caden Boozer's here." Duke doesn't have an identity. Let's just call it what it is. They don't have an identity. I was talking to J-Man about this. I don't believe they know how to play swaggy basketball is what I call it. They're very robotic. So like Caleb Foster's great if he can catch and shoot. It's kind of like football. I'm gonna make another football comparison. We have a pro football player on the show today. You have quarterbacks that are one read guys. And if they do get to their first read, they're great. What do they do when that fails? What does Duke do when any of these players' first like move fails? They don't have anything they can get to. They have no counter punches. They can hit you with a jab, and then they can come over the top with a right. But what makes Michigan so good, what makes Arizona and Iowa State so good, okay, you blocked my jab. I wasn't able to get to the right. Here's a left to the body. Here's a left hook or a left uppercut. I don't think Duke has that. I think they're so robotic besides Cam, who, by the way, I will continue to say this. Cam Boozer's not a first option. Maybe like at the collegiate level, he could be, but he's not a first option in the NBA. And as much as I do like his game, I think that limits them a little bit with what's around him.
Yeah. Sorry, say that one more time.
Like I think they need him to be like a superstar.
Oh,
Like he's a great player. Cam Boozer's phenomenal. There's levels to this shit. He's not on AJ's level to me. Honestly, it's not. Darryn Peterson doesn't play basketball, so you'd rather have Cam Boozer. It's so clear to me how much better AJ DeBonta and Darryn Peterson are at the sport than Cam is. Now, Cam's availability is a lot better than Darren's, though.
Yeah. With Cam, so Carter once said that he doesn't trust Cam Boozer because he's had too many granite countertops in his life. So I coined the nickname for him, Granite. He's Granite Countertops Jared Sullinger. And the refs coddle that man. I think we have like one Duke fan in the chat right now, so I'm just going to go off for a second. The Duke whistle in that second half last night was driving me crazy. There was one, I can't remember. I think they called it on Sananda Frew, when Cam had a wide open path to the basket and Frew like barely touched him and they called an and one. I was like, dude, I don't even know if he made contact on him. It was driving me crazy. Like Louisville played like buns. They were giving the ball away left and right that second half. I mean, I will credit Duke's defense for that. They forced Louisville into tough shots, but that's also kind of Louisville's MO is they're going to try to outshoot you from three. And when the three stopped falling, they had zero answers for Boozer in the paint. That front court was abysmal. Casey Pryor probably needs to go back to South Florida. Does not belong at this level. But yeah, I see the same issues as a lot of people do with Duke, where it's like, what are you getting outside of Cam Boozer? I think Caleb Foster's been really good this year. I've said that in some previews I've done with J-Man. Like, some people owe him an apology. I will apologize to Caleb Foster. I said he was like nowhere. I didn't think he was anywhere near like lead guard on Duke level good. I get your point where it's like, do you trust him when a play breaks down? Do you trust him to create as the shot clock's winding down? No, not really. But he was just walking down the Louisville guards last night, taking him into the paint and getting whatever he wanted. So I think you do have to give him credit. He does make big shots in terms of like catch and shoot situations. He's just not someone you want to say, okay, there's 10 seconds left on the shot clock, create something for us, Caleb. But I think he's pretty good in his role. I'm more so concerned about like, well, on one hand, I will say I'm concerned about what are you going to get out of that wing spot between Dame Sarr and Nick Hamenia? They're both so up and down. What do you do on a night where Patrick Ngongba picks up 3 fouls? I guess you can still lean on Malik Brown. Malik Brown was fine last night, but sorry, Caden. He's cracking me up in the chat. So I can also like hate on Duke for these perceived flaws I see, but it's happened like 5 times this year where they're down to Michigan State, they're down to Arkansas, they're down to Louisville, 3 tournament caliber teams. In Arkansas and Michigan State's team case, I would say 2 top 10 teams, like relatively comfortably top 10, top 15, and they still find a way to gut it out. And it's very frustrating as a Duke hater to just watch them do the same formula again, where they just make enough plays down the stretch and play good enough defense to go out with a win.
I'm gonna tell you why. So Akil said the real problem is Shire holding a clipboard. That's actually the only reason this team's really good, in my opinion. I don't. I've said it a million times. I started saying it last year. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna scream it from the mountaintop until Shire's gone at Duke. Which the way Duke does coaching stuff literally might be 40 years. Unfortunately for you, Riley. Um, uh, this is one of the best coaches in college basketball, if not the best coach in college basketball. He doesn't have a national title to show for it, which I understand, like, why people want to like harp on him. Oh, you don't have a natty, you don't have a natty. In what? He's been the coach at Duke for what, 4 years now?
Mm-hmm.
Elite Eight, Final Four. Like, what more do you want from a guy who like just started coaching? And I get he's had ridiculously good rosters. He's going to again next year. And then the year after that. And then the year after that. 80% of coaching in college basketball is roster construction to me. Yes, there's a lot you can do with the clipboard. There's a lot you have to do with motivation. But if you can constantly just get McDonald's All-American 5-star lotto picks, I'm good. Like, I would, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're constantly having one of the best, like he's had what, Paolo now, Coop, Cam, if you're constantly going one after the other, I think I can live with whatever. And by the way, this dude is a defensive genius. I don't think this team is that good defensively. I'm supposed to believe Caleb Foster's an elite defender. I'm good. I don't think so. Caden Boozer, I don't think could guard me. Nick Kamenia can't guard you, Riley. And Cam doesn't want to play defense. And then you look up, top 5 on KenPom in defense. Why? It's Shire.
I think Shire's a really good coach too. I would rebuff what Akil said as well. Like, I think he runs good concepts offensively. Like you said, on the roster construction side of things, I think that's his strong suit. And hasn't skipped a beat recruiting. Whoever they zero in on, they get. So it's tough for me to critique him in this case. I do want to address Seth Dawkins's comment that anyone who plays Duke's schedule, they'll have 3 to 4 losses. Let's run through this real quick. Texas. Does Michigan beat Texas?
Yes.
By how much?
How much did Duke beat them by?
15.
Double that.
I think Michigan beats Texas by 40. I think Iowa State beats Texas by 25. We'll get to see in the Big 12. I think Arizona beats Texas by 20 to 25. Kansas. Michigan, I feel like Michigan beats Kansas without Darryn Peterson too, which maybe that helps.
By the way, you could add Darryn Peterson to that. I think Michigan beats Tennessee by 40.
Yeah, I think Iowa State will get Kansas at least once. Arizona will get Kansas at least once. Florida and Arkansas. Hey, Seth, are we talking about UNC? Have I ever gone on here and been like, oh, I love UNC. We're a top 10 team this year? No, I think UNC is fine. I think we're a back in top 25 team. Hopefully we can split with Duke. That would be a good season. People know how I feel. People know how I feel about Hubert. People know how I feel about the long-term trajectory of my program.
It's football school. Football school.
Yeah, but Miles O'Neal era is about to start. Let's go.
Well, Gio's back.
No, Gio hit the portal.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, after we got – have you ever heard of this dude, Miles O'Neal? He was the backup at Texas A&M. Apparently has a crazy arm, but he's but he's just like raw. So he might stink. But he's 6'5" and has good hair and a big arm. So maybe Petrino can do something with him.
It's football school, man. They're going to the SEC. They're going to split up for the marriage with Duke. Football school. I honestly, I'm excited for SEC North Carolina. I've been hammering home the point of like Carolina Blue used to mean something. Everything's bigger in the SEC. If you thought Carolina Blue was big before, wait till Alabama fans are going up against North Carolina.
I still want us to go to the Big Ten just because it would be best for the channel.
The Big Ten, North Carolina would be fun, but I think it's best that North Carolina stays away from Elliot Cadeau. Because Cadeau, I think Cadeau is like good at basketball now. So I think it's time. I think we just like stay away, keep him at like arm's length. Like we might see in like the second round or Sweet 16 in Dayton or something like that. But like I don't think we need to play Elliot Cadeau twice.
Yeah, that's fair. But there's only going to be one more year of Cadeau at Michigan.
Is he a junior?
Yeah, he's a junior. Spent 2 years at UNC.
Okay.
He was pretty good his freshman year, but he had like talent around him. Just last year was really frustrating.
You know what I got to do now, right, Riley?
What do you have to do now, dude?
I got to get in my eligibility bag to find him a fifth year. I got to get in my eligibility back.
He gets an extra year of eligibility due to mental trauma caused by Hubert.
Yeah, medical red shirt. He had to play with RJ Davis and Caleb Love. VV said UNC hasn't had anything to feel good about in the last 2 seasons. That's not true, man. That's not
Hey,
true.
we swept Duke 2 years ago, VV. But yeah, last year sucked. Last year was the most joyless season of my fandom. So you can clown us for that. Again, I'm happy to speak openly about my program. I think this year's team is pretty good, but I think the ceiling is capped. It feels like if they catch some breaks, they're a Sweet 16 team, maybe can squeak into the Elite Eight. But yeah, I think Baystar and Caleb give them a really high floor, but I think the guards cap their ceiling. So
quickly before we leave, Duke swept you.
Yeah, I know, VV. Y'all swept us last season. We swept you the season before that, though. That's not that long ago. You said 2 seasons. We're still in that threshold.
Burner said Deion is so delusional. I'm sure that has something to do with my Michigan being really good take. I want to apologize to everybody. I'm sorry that I think the Ken Pom #1 undefeated team in college basketball is really good. My bad. I'm sorry. Seth said if UNC had Elliott, Seth Powell, Wilson, Visar, they'd be OD nice. I texted Riley that, and Riley's response was honestly the truth. And I told him we don't worry about facts. Elliott was never going back to North Carolina.
Correct. Yeah. I think that man was planning on transferring in February.
Yeah, no, he was doing what Tuck did, except for he just didn't fake an injury. But in December, he knew he was out of there.
Would you let me ask you this, Dion? If you're a paint touch guard, if your best skill is throwing lobs, and your head coach gives you 6'6" Ben Allen Lubin to throw lobs to, would you stick around for another year?
I would just do what he ended up doing the following year and just develop a 3-point shot. That's gotta bug you just a little bit. That
yes, it does. That he's shooting 40% a year. Yes.
I think North Carolina fans. I'm gonna speak for them because I've tried to become the face of the program, but they don't want that. I think North Carolina fans can live with Elliott Cadeau's a good basketball player because you guys thought he was a good basketball player. He's literally a McDonald's All-American. It's the fact that all of a sudden he's just a lights out shooter. That's the portion of it that I'm even watching. Are you serious, dude? You couldn't hit the backboard.
Our season ended when we were a 1 seed in 2024 against a flawed Alabama team with nothing between us and the Final Four but Brad Brownell and Clemson. He took care of Caleb Love in Arizona for us. That was all we had. And Alabama just they've stuck Charles Bediako on Elliott Cadeau and let him camp out in the paint for a whole 40 minutes. And we couldn't figure it out. That's what ended our season, where we could have had another Final Four. And now this dude is just pulling up from NBA range, shooting at a 42% clip. Yeah, that part does kill me a little bit.
In the SC game, they tried to switch Asar onto him. By the way, Asar is when he transfers to Michigan State next year, he's going to be sick.
Asar's good. I like Asar.
He's the perfect Izzo player. I can't wait for him to be on Michigan State. But but they switched Asar onto him, and Asar sagged off, but he didn't really sag off. He sagged off to the 3-point line, and Cadeau just pulled from Steph range, and I was somebody call a timeout. What was that? Get him off the court. Elliott shouldn't be allowed to do that. Respectfully to Elliott Cadeau, but. We'll end it there. I know you got to get a workout in before you pick my dog Theo up. Riley, next week, when do we think we're going back to the YMCA with ping pong? Because I want to interview people that are playing ping pong.
So I don't know if we'll ever go back there since they don't have childcare anymore. However, there's another YMCA that does have childcare in Durham that has ping pong. This is I meant to text you this when you talked about green lighting, interviewing people at the YMCA. I got, the influencer mics that you clip on your shirt that connect to your phone. I got one of those for Christmas with the purpose of using them for college basketball games where I'm interviewing players and stuff. However, I think this would be a more noble use of them to
I'm so sorry that I've done this to you, where you had intentions of I'm going to go to college basketball games and interview players. And instead, Deion's turned your life into, can you interview Chad from accounting at the YMCA about what he thinks about Duke?
It could be good content, man, especially in this area. You ask people about UNC, Duke, or even State. big win for NC State over Boston College last night. 7-point win, Red Reckoning. I know my Duke fans in the chat, at least we can unite over just like poking fun at their oblong-shaped goofball running that program right now. But
okay. Will Wade disrespect won't happen on my program.
Will Wade stinks, man.
You could save the Will Wade hate for Riley every day. This is we don't do that on my program. This is a Will Wade guy through and through.
All right, we can wrap it up there. Thank you, Connor, for backing me up. Connor, also a Duke fan, has my back with this one. But
Will Wade does stink, but like this is not a facts-based thing. So he's 33rd on Ken Palm. Like we're right there. We're right there. Hubert wishes he had a point guard like mine. Oh, is Ethan a Michigan State fan?
I would like a point guard like Michigan State's too. So
Fears is just like, are we 100% sure Fears is better than Elliott?
Or better than, yeah. I think Fears is probably better than Elliott.
I think he's better than Kion Evans.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I don't know that he's better than Elliott. Elliott's yanking from NBA range right now.
Yeah, that's fair. Elliott's good. He's been good this season, but
I'm gonna stop talking about Elliott though with you. I feel bad now. I can see the frustration on your face, and I don't want to do that to you. Can we get predictions for tonight, Purdue, before you both go? Yeah, we can do that really quickly. I'm sorry, Riley. I'm cutting into your workout now.
No, don't worry about it. Purdue against come on, Rick. Y'all playing Washington? Y'all win at home. It's a 20-point dub. Why are you making me shorten my workout for this?
Give me all-time assist leader, the Big Ten all day. Braden Smith ain't going to North Carolina. He's out of eligibility. However, Braden Smith on the Charlotte Hornets would be fun.
Braden and Khan, yeah, that'd be fun.
Purdue should win down by 30. I would assume, right? Like it's Washington at the crib. Might be out on Hans Steinbach. Some monitor. I might be out on Hans Steinbach, but we'll talk about that one tomorrow. Everybody have a good day.